Today, we're diving into the incredible work of the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung to help us tackle one of the biggest questions we can ever ask ourselves.
I mean, it seems like a simple question, right? But the answer? Well, it's really complex. We all have those moments where we feel like we're just playing a part, you know? Like we're not being our true, authentic selves. So why does that happen? And more importantly, what can we actually do about it?
Well, according to Jung, that feeling of being fake comes from a huge split in our psyche, our total mind. He saw it as having two parts. You've got the conscious mind, which is all the stuff we're aware of, and then there's the unconscious. Think of it like a massive hidden realm of forgotten memories and deep-seated instincts. The problem, most of us live our entire lives ignoring this gigantic part of who we are.
But here's the cool part. Jung actually gave us a map for this inner territory. He called the journey individuation. And you can really think of it as a kind of hero's journey inward. The goal isn't to fight or destroy the unconscious, but to bring it into harmony with our conscious mind, so we can finally become whole and truly authentic. This journey has 4 key stages, or maybe 4 major bosses we have to face. These are guided by what Jung called archetypes, these universal patterns of people and behaviors that live inside all of us. We're going to start with the face we show the world, then dive into our own hidden darkness, embrace our inner opposite, and finally, reach for our true center.
All right, our first stop is the persona. This is the social mask that every single one of us wears to get by in the world.
And Jung himself put it perfectly. The persona is a tool. It helps us make a specific impression, the dedicated professional, the supportive friend, the good son or daughter, but it also works to hide what's really going on inside. It's basically a performance.
Now, let's be clear, this mask isn't a bad thing. In fact, it's absolutely crucial for getting along in society. For example, a therapist might be feeling pretty annoyed by a client, but they put on a persona of calm and understanding so they can do their job and actually help. It's a beneficial, sometimes even essential tool.
The danger, though, comes when we forget we're even wearing a mask. Jung called this over-identification. It's when we start to believe the role we're playing is who we actually are. We completely lose touch with our own real needs and desires. I mean, just think about a perfect social media profile that starts to feel more real than your actual messy life. That's the danger zone.
And according to Jung, this pretense can't last forever. Eventually, the pressure just becomes too much, and the persona, it begins to shatter. This is the moment of disintegration, which we often see in people as burnout or a sudden dramatic identity crisis.
And when that mask shatters, what's left? Total chaos. A feeling of being completely and utterly lost. I mean, if your entire identity was built on that performance, who are you when the show is finally over?
So the goal here isn't to get rid of the mask entirely. That's impossible. The goal is to build a better one, a flexible persona that we're aware of, one that helps our true self navigate the world, instead of just hiding it away.
Okay, so we've looked at the outer mask. Now, let's go deeper. It's time to confront the parts of ourselves we've pushed down into the darkness, the shadow.
The shadow is basically the container for everything we consider bad about ourselves. Our anger, our envy, our selfish impulses. These are the traits that society told us were unacceptable. So, since we were kids, we learned to deny they even exist within us. But here's the thing, denying them doesn't make them go away.
So what does happen when we pretend these parts of us don't exist? Well, it turns out, the more we try to push them down, the harder they fight to get out. And it comes roaring out as something Jung called projection. We start seeing the very faults we deny in ourselves everywhere we look, specifically in other people.
Ever been just irrationally annoyed by someone's arrogance? Or maybe their laziness just drives you up the wall? Well, Jung would say that intense gut-level reaction is often a giant red flag that you're projecting your own repressed arrogance or laziness onto them. Our harshest judgments of others are often just echoes of our own hidden self-hatred.
So what's the solution? We don't have to become our shadow or act on every dark impulse. Not at all. The goal is simply to acknowledge that it's there. By becoming aware of our own insecurities, our own anger, we can understand them, we can regain control, and maybe, just maybe, turn those weaknesses into incredible strengths.
Okay, moving on to the next big stage. Here, we find another key archetype deep in the unconscious, the contrasexual part of our psyche. This is the radical idea that we all have an inner opposite gender energy living inside of us.
For men, Jung called this inner feminine the Anima, and it's associated with qualities like creativity, passion, and connection. For women, he called the inner masculine the Animus, and it's linked to things like rationality and power. The problem is, society often pushes us into these really strict gender roles, forcing us to repress these absolutely vital parts of ourselves.
I mean, think about that classic phrase, boys don't cry. When a man is taught to repress his natural sensitivity, his anima, it doesn't just disappear. No, it gets twisted. That starved part of his psyche can bubble up as depression, or moodiness, or even sudden uncontrollable outbursts. Repression turns these natural, healthy energies into something really destructive. So, after confronting the persona, integrating the shadow, and embracing the anima or animus, we finally arrive at the ultimate goal of this entire process of individuation, the self.
Just listen to that quote from Jung for a second. The self isn't just another part of you, it's the archetype of wholeness. It is the organizing principle of your entire psyche. This is a perfect way to visualize it. Our ego, our sense of I, is just the center of our conscious mind. But the self is the center of everything, both the conscious and the unconscious combined. Accessing that deep center, achieving that sense of wholeness, that's the key to real balance and authenticity.
You see, this journey of individuation isn't really about finding some final answer and then you're done. It's about a lifelong process of discovery. By looking inward at these powerful archetypes, we don't just find out who we are right now, but who we have the potential to become. So the real question is, what will you discover when you begin yours?